All right, Robert Eagleson here with the Calgary Hook and Hackle Club, and today we're going to do a mini meat whistle. It's a John Barr fly. John Barr, of course, is most famous for his Copper John. This is a scaled down version of his meat whistle fly. It's called the mini meat whistle. So, for a hook, I am using a streamer hook. It's a size 10 jig hook. This is an Umpqua U555 60-degree jig hook. And I'm going to put a large gold cone over that hook and mount it in my vise. Alright, once I've got there now, I'm going to use some rabbit zonker strips. This is a sand variant rabbit strip. So I want to take that strip and I want to measure the length of the shank. So I'm going to take this, measure to about the length of the shank, then I'm going to take it and stab it through the hide. So I'm going to take that right off of there. I'm going to just push it all the way through. And then I'm going to mount my hook back in the vise. And I want to keep this rabbit out of the way for now. So one of the best things I have found to help me with that is a hair clip girls or women use. And let's get those stray hairs out of the way. Thread, this is a 140 denier in a goldy tan color. I'm just going to start my thread there. And clip off my excess thread. Let's bring that thread right up behind that cone. My underbody is a sparkle braid in red. So I'm just going to get that out of my bag now. And I will just clip off a length of that stuff. Alright, so I'll take my sparkle braid and I'm going to start that behind the cone. And I'm going to tie it all the way back to the bend of the hook. And bring my thread back up and I'm going to put a half hitch in there. Just because. Alright. So let's take my sparkle braid and I want to bring that forward in touching wraps all the way up behind that cone. And we will just tie that off. Clip the excess. Alright, now we want to bring this forward. So I want to bring this rabbit strip forward now. And I want to use my bodkin to kind of divide that hair so that I can find a good tie-in point right behind that bead. Alright, I think that looks pretty good right there. So I'll just hold that if I can and give that a couple, 3 good solid wraps. Alright, once I've got that down, well, I don't think it's going to come loose. Let's just try to clip that rabbit off without cutting your thread. Oops. I want to trim that as short as I can. Alright, let's get rid of those. Alright, so let's just lock that rabbit down. So we want that good and solid. We don't want that coming loose at all. Make sure we can get that cone into position if we want to. Alright. Alright, once we got that rabbit down good and solid, now we're going to take some flashabou This is a copper flashabou, and I'm going to take a couple strands of that. Alright, got a couple strands. I'm just going to try to find the middle of those strands, and I'm going to tie those on the tire side here. So let's just try to orient those. Oh, that's not working for me. Let's try this again. Alright, find the middle of those strands. Keep them about mid-shank. Three good solid wraps there. Now take the ones that are pointing forward here. We're going to move them around to the other side, tie them down on the far side. Don't worry about trimming them off, we'll trim them off later. Alright, I'm going to put legs on this. I'm going to use Sililegs. This is a chrome copper black color. Okay, pulled off two of those legs. Same situation, I'll find the middle. I will try to tie those right on top of the flashabou. Couple solid wraps on this side. I'm going to take the ones here, bring them over to the other side, and tie those down nice and solid right there. Don't worry about trimming them, we'll trim that all later. Alright, now I need a hackle, and the hackle I'm using, this is like a Grizzly marabou in a brown. So I'm just going to find a decent feather here. You can use marabou if you like. I just like the little bit of the mottled look that this Grizzly marabou gives. Alright, so once you found your feather here, I'm just going to take this feather and I'm just going to cut a bit of a triangle in the bottom there. Alright, got a bit of a triangle there. We're just going to cut that off. And that's going to be my tie-in right there. Maybe. Alright, we're just going to tie that in by that triangle. Just a few solid wraps there. Alright, now you want all these hackle fibers sweeping to the back, so you can push them back as you wrap around. Little trick, I think I've shown you this before, but we're just going to take that feather, take something sharp like a scissor edge, and we're just going to run that down the stem, both sides, and that kind of forces those hackle fibers to the back, makes them easier to wrap around. So we're going to pull those back. We're going to try to get 3 or 4 wraps, touching wraps. Alright, that looks good. So we're just going to bring this up, catch that behind the cone. And we'll clip the top of that off. Alright. Alright, once we've got that in there, let's get this flashabou out of the way. Let's give that a couple more wraps just because. And then we will take a wood finisher And we're going to give that a couple whip finishes. Right under that cone. Alright, got a couple good whip finishes in there. Let's get rid of the thread. And we'll straighten that cone out. And we will just build up a bit of a thread dam in front of that cone. I'm going to push that back and help that feathers back. Let's clip that excess off. And we're just going to build up a good thread dam here. And we'll give that at least one good whip finish, maybe two. Alright, so this fly, of course, is going to ride upside down with the hook point up, just like this. So you're going to want to put a lot of epoxy on here, because as this thing is going to be bouncing on the rocks and taking a bit of a beating. But there you go. There is the... oh, sorry, got to trim these. You want to trim these legs and the flashabou same length as the tail. And there we have it done. That is the mini meat whistle. Rabbit has a lot of action. The hackle, soft hackle there has a lot of action. And the rubber legs help to keel it the right direction. And it's a pretty good fly. Give it a shot. Thanks for watching. Bye.